So I really want to give a wonderful, wonderful warm welcome to our special guest and the first person to do the Frostbite team talk or team talk. Team talk. I think that's what we're gonna call it. Something like that. Hi, Shadoom. Good to see you. Welcome. Hi, teammate. Please give it when we go live here. Give it a warm welcome to Markoironfist. Fellow Frostbite team member. He recently just hit 100 subs on Twitch as well, so give him a warm welcome for that. And please go check him out in the pinned messages on the top there. It would mean a lot to him. Hi, Tungsten. Good to see you. So with that being said, let me go ahead and transition over to this. Okay. Hello. This is our wonderful guest, Markoironfist. Say hello, Marco.
Otter, combination of a sea otter, short-clawed Asian otter, and the South American giant otter.
Okay, so you already answered the questions before I could even get to it. So that was like, you know, what was your persona? So you basically, can you actually repeat that? Because I know it cut off a little bit on my end. Just repeat it, please and thank you.
Okay, I am Markoironfist. He is an otter with a fur pattern inspired by the short-clawed Asian otter, although the size of a South American giant otter with the personality of a sea otter.
So that is a lot of otter for one persona. That is a lot. So I guess to kick things off, let me go ahead and do a little introduction here. Hello everyone, welcome to the first episode of the Tazz Talk Show, Frostbite Edition. Today we have our wonderful guest and fellow Frostbite teammate, Markoironfist. Glad to have you here. I guess with that, we did kick things off with that, but I wanted to ask kind of like a general question. This is a question I'll be asking from a lot of everyone in Team Frostbite. The number one question that I'm probably going to be asking is, what made you a furry? We'll do a little questionnaire.
It is difficult to say what made me a furry. The thing that officially convinced me to start interacting with the fandom was a picture of a boy kisser on a poster at my college, although I had been aware of furries for a few years before that.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay. Very, very interesting, like, the way, like, the boy kisser came about into the furry aspect of your life. So that's pretty goofy. Mm-hmm. So I guess with that, with that follow-up question is, can you tell us about your journey in joining the furry fandom?
Sure. I officially started interacting with the fandom around freshman year of college, as I have mentioned. At the time, I had been a bit lonely at college. I had been struggling to find people to interact with, and I had saw a poster for a furry group at my campus, and I had heard that the furries were pretty nice people to hang out with. So one evening at like 4 a.m. I snuck out of my dorm room to go look at the poster and like take a picture of it, and went to a furry meeting. The people at my college were nice, which led me to seek out more interaction with the furry fandom. And then I started looking on YouTube for like furry content to learn like more about furries, and I found a YouTuber called Beta Ada Delota, who made videos about furries and furry memes and furry content, which then led me to interacting with some of his videos. I found a video on his gaming channel, Boodles, with a streamer known as Snowy Fluff. And I thought that Snowy Fluff seemed like a very interesting fellow. So I went to Twitch and started watching his stream, and he was, I think he was talking about the, I don't remember what it was. I watched for a few minutes. I thought it was cool. Logged off for a bit. Came back. Ken the Griffin had given me a sub to Snowy because there's a lot of gifters in Snowy's community for some reason. Which I thought, if I have a subscription to the channel, I might as well look at it more. And then Snowy started talking about how he was doing an escape room for Thanksgiving with his family, and I enjoyed escape rooms, so I started sticking around more. And then it started snowballing. I started checking out more furry creators because furry seemed cool. I joined Snowy's Discord to interact with other people, joined a voice call, saw how nice community was, and that's now I'm here.
So one thing led up to another, and it all started with Beta Ada Delota, pretty much.
Yes.
Well, to be fair, it started with college, then Beta, then Snowy, and then here we are.
Yes. I'm not sure I would be a furry if it wasn't for that Snowy Fluff fellow.
So I guess with that being said, I didn't realize how popular furry convention, or not furry conventions, furry meetups were popular in the college aspect. I thought a lot of them were kind of just lingering there, but I didn't realize a lot of people put furry events together in college. Is that pretty accurate to your knowledge?
The furries were not super popular at the college because it was primarily a right-winged town, so certain ideals associated with the furry fandom were unpopular among people. The main event we would have is once a month we would go to the bowling alley and do bowling. Although outside that, we'd meet once a week and play Jackbox. Okay.
Jackbox is always a fun time for a get-together, for sure. I can vouch for that. Oh, goodness. Man, that for stuff like that, it's always really cool how far people come in terms of furry, because when I first started joining the furry fandom, especially for content creators, I also stumbled across Beta. I also grew up with Nas Hyena, Majora Strawberry when they went by that name, Beta of course, and the list goes on. But it's just those creators that made pretty much the starting point for startup furry content creation. It's just kind of what led me here as a content creator to a degree, so I can definitely relate to the whole knowing more content creators in the fandom, and that's something that I think is really unique because everyone just kind of knows one another pretty easily, so it's pretty cool.
And it's probably going to want me to talk about how I ended up streaming next.
So I do have questions. I got you. Okay. So here's a follow-up question with that then. Did you start streaming on Twitch before or after you were a furry?
I started streaming after I became a furry, primarily because of Snowy Fluff.
Okay. I mean, yeah, so when I first started streaming, I actually ended up streaming way before Twitch. I was before I came on the Twitch platform. I streamed on YouTube with my single phone because my computer wasn't able to stream very well, so I streamed on my phone back on the YouTube days, and that's kind of how I got started with streaming, was that, and I just had a passion for it, and it just slowly just took off from different perspectives and growth from there. So with that being said, here is a generalized question that I want to ask. What type of content do you stream?
I stream puzzle games, Baba's You, Patrick's Parabox, Parquet Down the Bun Burrows, I mean, I also stream some questionably puzzle games, like adventure puzzle, platformer puzzle games.
Okay. So you're more of like a puzzle fan. Is it more 2D, 3D, or does it matter?
It doesn't matter. I do both on my channel.
Ooh, okay. Okay. What is the with that question? When I had a separate question that's not on here, but what is your favorite and least favorite puzzle game that you've played then?
Favorite puzzle game, I probably have to say Baba Is You, just because of like how much that game has done for me and my growth of my channel. Least favorite puzzle game? Trying to think if there were any puzzle games that I really didn't like. Maybe Riven. Yeah, that's its name.
Okay, gotcha. Well, that's good to know. So I'll definitely have to see if that is a game that I'd be interested in checking out. So I'll have to, if you ever play it, I'll have to look my little ears in, poke my head in. This is kind of an interesting question because I've been always curious. How did you come up with your username or your persona name?
For my username, that is an interesting story.
Here we go.
Basically, there was when I was younger, I found this game called Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Gates to Infinity. Okay? Mm-hmm. And then from there, I liked this idea of like a human exploring like different fictional worlds to like see what they're like and interact with the people there. So I started creating this like story of like a character I made that exploring these fictional worlds, and think it was probably around like 5th grade I learned about the Infinity Gauntlet from Marvel, and I thought the design of it looks cool. I did not know what it did. I just thought the design looked cool, so I thought of a way to like incorporate it into the character as a way of like how he travels between these fictional worlds. And then this character at this point was still just like the unnamed traveler, and he had an iron fist, which is where the Iron Fist name comes from. It's the iron colored version of the Infinity Gauntlet he uses to like travel between worlds. The Marco part of it comes from during the pandemic, when I was quarantined and the whole entire isolation thing, went to the internet looking for groups to hang out with, joined a World War II communist roleplay group where everyone went by names of characters from the show The Blacklist.
Oh my gosh.
I was given like a list of characters and told to pick one, and I picked Markoironfist, who appears in like one episode in season 2. Although since I had spent like years like with this name in that community, I kept that name after leaving the community as a sort of like name for my online persona, which is how I got the name Markoironfist.
Wow, you definitely have a lot of lore behind your your username and your persona name. That's actually, man, mine's like basic and really cute, but yours is just like, you have a lot more in depth, and that's something that I really enjoy. It's just like, I love a good storytelling when the name's like how do you get your username? How do you get your persona name? And some people have like something simple or like a very long-term like story, and I stuff like this I really do enjoy. So that is really cool. I didn't really know that Markoironfist was two names into one. I thought it was like a made-up name that you put together, like when you were a kid, or teen to college. Brain hurt. Hi. But either way, that is really cool. The Blacklist. Okay, that makes sense now, especially if Iron Fist makes sense. Here's a question that I kind of want to ask, especially with your small channel continuing to grow and you continuing to do Twitch. What are some of your goals with being on Twitch?
I guess I don't really have like a lot of like noble goals. I kind of just do it for fun, and if my channel grows, then it grows, and if people don't show up, I'll just continue streaming to the people who do.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, I'm similar-ish, but I also have some goals that I want to pursue in. So, like, say, for example, it could be personal goals, could be community goals, but if you ever get to that point, best of luck. But at this point, it seems like you're just kind of hanging in there, just doing it for fun because you just like to engage, it seems like. So during your time on Twitch, what is something that you should have learned quicker than not?
I think figuring out like what sort of like games people will actually watch is something I probably should have tried to learn quicker.
Gotcha. I mean, especially for like smaller niche games or niche communities, it's definitely a really hard place to grow, especially as a Twitch streamer nowadays. If you like base your stream, or like, here's something that I have read into is, if you do something very niche and something that makes you stand out the most and you stick with it, people are going to come back to you for that. It's like the biggest like hurdle to go over, but the longer you stick with it, the more you know, and the more you can kind of like give more insight and like your interest and expressiveness to the game. So something like that is just like really cool. Like you said, you love puzzle games. That to me is just like, I can never do that, but I love watching people play it because I think it's fascinating. So I could learn something with figuring things out too. So even like that, it's just like you could take that to the next level, Yeah.
My goal in the future would probably be to like build up enough of an audience so that when I do these like niche puzzle games, I can like actually show like more people of like, hey, this is a cool puzzle game that you could try out, rather than just like streaming into a void.
Yeah. No, for sure. I definitely understand that 1000%. Especially with being on Twitch nowadays. And every bit of Twitch is changing constantly, pros and cons to it. What is the best and worst moments that you've had during streaming?
I think one of the best moments I've had during streaming, at least in my eyes, was the first time I had someone raid into my channel. It kind of just gave me a sense of feeling that like there are people out there who actually want to like watch my content and think that other people would enjoy it. Probably sounds a bit silly, but it meant a lot to me. For my worst moment, it would probably be whenever my internet service provider would cut out in the middle of a stream, and it would just be such an unsatisfying end.
With that being said, there is a question that I think, actually two more questions. I'm going to fill one in here. So one of them, this is going to be a big question for you, and I want you to kind of think about it a bit. Who is the biggest inspiration in your life right now?
I think probably Snowy is one of the biggest inspirations for me right now. His perseverance through the challenges he went through while he was in law school certainly inspired me. He also inspired me to start streaming. There's like a lot about him that I kind of respect, and how he like stays true to himself and is able to like be like talented at like a lot of different things. There's just something about him that makes him like easy to look up to.
Okay, that definitely is a wonderful answer, and there's like a bunch of other people you could have said, and Snarly has been probably like one of the other people that I do look up to as well, coming from a small Twitch streamer and just someone that has an abundance of like wonderful energy, very friendly, just very, very kind, and just very open of everything. And he's really goofy. He's just he's a wonderful streamer, wonderful friendo for sure, and someone I definitely look up to in the community. I guess with that being said, what is your final thoughts with Twitch and the furry fandom?
I think Twitch serves as a good place for furries to connect with other people. It is certainly a different environment than I would say majority of the furry fandom, but I think it is its own like good little like subgenre of people. I believe that there may be some biases against furries on Twitch in certain enforcement of policies, but I believe that it is currently the best available option.
I guess with that being said, I will probably run up a Q&A then. We could probably just talk to kind of everyone else that's watching right now. If you guys are listening right now, we just went through our wonderful Frostbite team member, Markoironfist. He has been, you were in what, wave 2 if I recall correctly, correct?
Yes, I was wave 2.
Okay, so you were the same wave that I was then. For anyone else, if anyone has any Q&A that they want to ask, feel free to ask at any point. Now, granted, this was my first podcast style Q&A interview, talk show thing, whatever you want to call it. I don't really know what this is anymore. It's just something fun I wanted to do. So either way, if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask.
I'm honored that you let me be your first participant in your new show.
Yes. Kai the Wug asks, what is your favorite car if you drive, of course?
My favorite car to drive is the Subaru Outback because it is the first car I drove. Favorite car, like, visually, is probably the Miata. I just think it looks cute.
Okay, so one question from Aeon. What is our lovely guest's opinion on electric zesty citrus Pepsi, the Canadian cursed soda specialty?
I have not tried it yet. It sounds interesting, might be worth trying, but I have not tried it yet, so I cannot give a proper opinion on it.
Okay, so Jake Werepanther has a question for both of us. Favorite comfort meal, especially for a comfort dinner meal. Okay. Marco, I'll let you answer this one if you have something.
My comfort meal would probably be some mac and cheese and some chicken.
Chicken? I like chicken.
Yeah, I need protein.
Mac and cheese and chicken. Okay, your question is it grilled or just regular?
Just regular.
Gotcha. If I had a comfort meal, I would probably have to say a good cheeseburger, fry, and a milkshake. Strawberry milkshake specifically. I think that is like the most comfort food because it correlates to me being a kid back when in that time frame where like anytime we went to McDonald's as a kid or whatever, we would always go to McDonald's and I always got like a double cheeseburger for fries and a shake, and it made me very happy.
I'd probably also take a shake.
Ooh, what kind of shake?
One of my most common flavors I would get as a child is the marshmallow flavored shakes from a local restaurant. But if you want like more normal flavors, probably chocolate.
Marshmallow? I've never heard or like even heard of like a marshmallow flavored shake. That's really interesting. That's very cool, actually. I think that's it. I believe that is all the wonderful questions. Thank you so much, Marco, for being here. Thank you for being the first wonderful Frostbite team member to be here and start things off. So it was fun to have you. So I appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me. It was fun to be here and talk to you. If people want to see more of me, I'll probably be back either Friday or on Saturday. I'm doing something with one of the other teammates from Frostbite, Chadoom.
Yes, we love Chadoom. French fur. Absolutely love it. I just want to say again, thank you so much for all being here. Thank you for being so supportive of this, because this one was a lot of fun. A little something different out of the norm, but we're going to do more of these for sure.